I'm Peter Gilbert, and I'm a composer working with composer Karola Obermüller on a piece for the New Mexico Contemporary Ensemble for the Industrial Foundations Project. And we've had a lot of great work together on it so far, so we wanted to share a bit of that. I think one of the key ingredients for a collaborative project is having some kind of central concept that we can keep coming back to, so that we keep the ideas flowing in a parallel direction, let's say. So when we first started talking about this idea, being in a large, unusual space, having lots of movement, not only from dancers, but also with the musicians arrayed in the space so that the sound is moving. Of course, we have loudspeakers set up for electronics to keep the sound moving as well. So we started thinking about how this movement is going to be perceived in that larger space. And then when we were talking about lighting, we came up upon the concept of shadows, the way that the lighting intersected with dancers will create lots of really fantastic shadow. Of course, shadow is a really rich concept to explore in general. So that became one of our starting points, and the first section of this piece is called From Shadow, and features some rich sounding chords, but there's a lot of energy injected into by the ensemble arrayed throughout the space. Well, collaboration is always full of surprises, and one of the really pleasant surprises on this project has been these sculptural medals, which we only came upon because they're near where New Mexico Contemporary Ensemble rehearses. And they have these incredibly interesting and beautiful resonances, which very quickly became part of the acoustic landscape that Karola and I were working with. And so we recorded them, and they're of course part of the electronics, but I think it's also interesting that they can be in the space and sonically activated by musicians and dancers, and are thus also part of the visual landscape of the piece, and with lighting even a part of the shadow landscape of the piece. And I think it's going to be one of the things that is really unique about this work, and one of the things that's been fun about composing it, and only came up through the collaborative process. So those are the kind of wonderful surprises that you always get. Well, that you don't always get, but when they happen, then they make this kind of work compelling. So it's always a bit of a challenge to figure out how you're going to work compositionally with another composer. It's something Karola and I've done many times, but you always have to figure it out. So, and it's unique for each piece. So for this one, we have an intersectional space that is kind of a starting point, if you will, and then we're sort of each expanding the piece in other directions. So I have a section I'm working on, and she has a section she's working on, and then there's this joint space that centers around a particular chord. The thing that's really interesting about working with another composer on a single piece is that it expands your vocabulary in ways that you could never do on your own, and I think creates a more dynamic work, a work that has a lot of movement in it, which is really one of the grounding themes of the project anyway, movement through space. And so we're not only moving through a physical space and a sonic space, but we're moving through different compositional spaces as well, hopefully in a way that still coheres together and makes a really meaningful singular work, but one that has a kind of multidimensionality to it. So we're really excited about the project and hope you'll be able to join us for the first performance.